the office today. Hope you are doing well, having a great day, and I appreciate you jumping on today. So I've had a last minute change. I was going to talk about repurposing content today, but that is not the case. I have changed topics at the last minute. Hope you don't mind. But I want to talk today about Open Graph. Now, before I get to Open Graph and what in the world that is, I just want to tell you, first of all, about the Window Treatment Marketing Academy. So if you go to Window Treatment Marketing Pro's website, wtmarketingpros.com, on the top right, there's an area there where it says Learn. And we actually have over 100 how-to videos behind the scenes there that you can access. We have a membership site, and you can get to all those how-to videos on everything from analytics to social media. There's a 6-week SEO challenge back there. There's a 6-week social media challenge. There are, 40 videos on how to SEO a WordPress website. Tons of stuff back there, right? So plenty of things that you can do. So just check that out. wtmarketingpros.com/academy will get you there as well. So this video will also go into that academy area, along with a lot of the coaching calls that we do behind the scenes. But good morning. Thank you for jumping on today. I really do appreciate it. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to talk a little bit about something called Open Graph. What in the world that is, and why I wanted to cover it, why it's important in my mind to have on the list. So let's see, show and stream, and I'm going to shrink myself. No, there, I'm going to shrink myself down. Okay. So this is Naka's Drapery, a local window covering company in Maui, Hawaii. So sounds like a great place to be right now, by the way. So what I want to show you here is on WordPress sites, and this is something that we're going to also talk about when we do talk about repurposing content. But one little trick that you can do with WordPress is you can put a / equals and then some sort of keyword behind the scenes. So I'm going to put shutters and hit enter. What that does is that basically does a query of the WordPress site and says, hey, what do you see related to shutters? And it didn't work. What happened? S equals shutters. There we go. I don't know what happened the first time. So basically what it does is it just goes out and finds every piece of content with that keyword in it. Okay, so now we've got all these different blogs and things that have been written and published over time, right? If we want to add more than one word, let's say we want to look up plantation shutters. Well, I can't just put a space and type the word plantation. I have to use a plus. So plantation, I'm going to spell it right. Plantation. So I'm doing shutters plus plantation, but it doesn't matter the order. I'm just looking for those two keywords. So now what I'm getting is pieces of content that obviously have those two words. So here we go. Top 7 reasons why custom indoor plantation shutters are great in Hawaii. Indoor plantation shutters, which louver size is best? So some cool information on plantation shutters, right? The other thing that we're going to see here is every blog. I'm going to open this blog up in the back end so we can see it. When you write a blog in WordPress, one of the things that it asks you for is a featured image, right? It always asks for some sort of a featured image. Well, the featured image is a piece of the Open Graph system, which we'll get into in a minute. But when you're looking at a blog post, so I'm just going to open this first one here. When you're looking at a blog post in the back end of WordPress, of course, you have your content here. You've got your categories over here. And then typically somewhere is a featured image. This image is what is going to show up, obviously, on the front end, on the actual blog, right? It's going to show up. There it is, right there. So it shows up for this particular theme. It shows up at the top, and then the blog is below that. So that's one thing. The other thing that happens is if I want to share this piece of content on Facebook, I'm going to go to Facebook, window treatment, marketing pros. And let's say that I found a cool piece of content on your website. I want to share it on my Facebook page. So I'm going to write something cool about it, cool post, right? And then I'm going to paste the link. Now, Facebook pulls in some stuff. Do you notice some stuff that it pulled in that we've talked about? Check it out. It pulls in the featured image. So this is how you control what image shows when somebody shares on a social network. This works on LinkedIn, it works on Twitter, it works on all the different networks. So that's why the featured image is important in the first place, right? And the way that this happens is in the back end of the website, in the code part of it. And I'm going to pull this down right here. I know it's a little bit crazy to look at. I'm going to zap it up a little bit. There we go. So Open Graph is a system that basically all of the social networks have agreed on, as this is the way that you give us information about your website. So we're going to see here that this is an article. This is the title, and you'll see that this is a meta property Open Graph title. So the OG means Open Graph, not Original Gangster, right? So that is the title. So top 12 benefits of motorized window treatments. If I go look over here, that's what it pulled in as the title. If I go back and look at the description, motorized window treatments have many advantages than of the manual. So let's go back over here, blah, 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 that of the manual. So that is the description, right? Now it also happens to match the page title, the post description, right? You can control these individually, and I'll show that in a minute. But here's another thing. So here is the actual URL to this particular page. So if I post this on the page, then when somebody clicks on it, that's the URL they're going to go to. And then there's a couple other things, who sent it, what kind of tags, that kind of stuff. But then down here, we've got Open Graph image. So there's our featured image, right? So it's going to grab that particular image. If they want it from a secure URL, which is the same, it's the same graphic, grab that picture and put it into any social post that anybody that shares it on any social platform. So that's why it's important. Everything's all cranked up. There we go. That's why the featured image is important in the first place. Okay. So very important there. Now, in the back end of a blog post on WordPress, if you're using the Yoast SEO plugin, then you can do a little bit more with this. There's a tab there called social. I'm going to crank that back up a little bit. Social. If you click on the social tab, you actually have a little bit more control. You can give Twitter and Facebook different titles. I don't know why you would want to, but maybe you would. A different title, different description, and you can upload an image specifically for Twitter users to see. You can do the same thing for Facebook. So if you want a different picture on Facebook to show up, you can do that here along with a different title and description. Now, why would you want something different to show up? Well, for Facebook, it's important because if you're using a featured image that has words on it, so sometimes we use featured image that has the words top 12 benefits of motorization on the actual image, right? To grab a little bit more attention. If we do that on the featured image, and then somebody wants to share that on feature or on Facebook, or we share it ourselves, right, on that social channel, we can't really boost that post because Facebook frowns on pictures with words in them. So that would be a reason to upload a different picture specifically for Facebook. Now, it all comes down to, are you going to boost this post, put some money towards it, run an ad with that picture, that kind of stuff. If you're not going to do that, then just using the featured image is probably perfectly fine, and there's nothing else you have to do, right? But if you put a post out there and you start to get some engagement, well, Facebook really likes engagement, right? And the more people that like and comment on something, the more likely other people are as well. Social proof in action right there. You might also want to boost the post, right? Put 10 bucks towards it. If people are already engaging with it, throw 10 bucks at it and get even more engagement, get more brand recognition, but you can't do that if it has a ton of words across your featured image. So that would be a big reason to change your featured image. Okay. So that is why featured image is important. All right. Now back to why in the world did I tell you about this search feature in WordPress? Here's why. From time to time, we get busy. We forget to add a featured image to a picture, to a post or to a page on our website, right? So if I do a search here, in this case, I did plantation shutters. So we'll see how it works. So I see a bunch of different pieces of content related to that. And all of a sudden I see one here that doesn't have an image attached to it. That's kind of interesting. So what this tells me is most likely this page, the products/shutters page on the website, doesn't have a featured image attached. So I need to fix it, right? And this is obviously going to repeat itself as we go through it. So this page is pretty short, not a ton of content. That's something else that I need to look at, get more content on this page. And then there is an image, but notice the image is down further and it's not the first thing that happens, which tells me it's probably not the featured image. The page was built, the picture was added, it was not added to featured image. So let's click edit page. By the way, Bobby, if you're on here, I'm fixing it now. I'm fixing it right away. One of my clients for this website. So let's just scroll over here and look at there. No featured image. So that is why it's important, because if somebody decides to share his shutters page, well, they're going to get just the text. Doesn't look as pretty. It's a missed opportunity to get more eyeballs in front of it. So what I'm going to do is in here, I'm just going to type in shutter, see what comes up. And then I'm going to pick one that looks good. I like this blue one here. So let's do that. Set featured image, update the page. And that's it. Now that open graph information is in there. Okay. So one other thing I want to show you. When you are writing a blog post, I'm going to go back to the one we were looking at earlier. Let's say that you want to change the featured image. So you don't like this particular picture. And I'm going to go change it. So I'm going to remove that featured image. I'm going to set a featured image, and then I'm going to pick a different image. Let's see if there's anything on here related to motorization. Okay. I'll pick this one, the girl with the remote. Okay. I'm going to change it to that picture. I'm going to update the page. So now the page is going to show the new one. If I click view post, it will show her with that information. Okay. Still makes sense. Now, if I want to share this on Facebook, let's see what happens. Let's go back to Window Treatment Marketing Pros. And then I'm going to go down here and do cool post again. I'm going to paste in the link. Look what happened. It's the wrong picture, right? So what happens is the social networks cache or keep a copy of a URL of all the open graph information that if it's been shared previously. So since we did it 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, it already had that in there. It didn't need to go back to my website and pull in the information again. It already had it. Well, I don't want to share this with the wrong image. So a lot of times this happens when you write a post and you publish it, and the social media profiles grab it, cache it, and then you're like, I forgot to add a meta description, or I forgot to add a featured image or something like that. Well, now you're stuck with what they have until they decide to come back and crawl your site again, right? Well, that's kind of crappy. So there is a way to fix this, and that is to go to Google and type in Facebook Open Graph Debugger. It's called a debugger. I'm going to go to the debugger. Right there, it was the first link. I'm going to paste in that blog post and hit debug, and it's going to go look at their information and it's going to re-pull in from the site. So now we can see, hey, there we go. Now they got the right information. Sometimes it'll do this and it'll pull in the wrong one, and you just hit this scrape again button. You can see they scraped it about a minute ago. You can hit scrape again, and basically it deletes their cache, pulls in a new version with your new picture. If you change the title, if you added in the description, all that kind of stuff, pulls that all in correctly. Okay. Now, if I go back here, okay, I'm going to cancel that. Let me go over here so it changes the page. Okay, leave this page, go back to the home. All right. Now, if I want to share this post again, it should use the new information. Look at that. So it uses the newer information that it pulled in. So Open Graph is really important, mostly around people sharing your content with other social network type stuff. And a lot of systems are pulling in the featured image and the title, the description, all that kind of stuff. That's how you control all that. By the way, the title in Yoast SEO is right here. When you click on it, you can change the title there. You can change the description here. These are the two pieces that show up in this area right here on the social networks. That's how you control that. And all of that goes into the Open Graph code, you could call it. So anyway, that is how Open Graph works, why it's important, and how to fix it if it happens to go a little bit wacko on you, or you share a page on your site and you notice it didn't pull in a picture, or the picture's not right, or it's got the wrong title, or it doesn't have a description or something like that. For Facebook, there is a debugger. I don't know if there's one for LinkedIn and Twitter. I'm sure there is. Never looked for it, but there probably is. But anyway, that is the reason for Open Graph, why you need to have featured images on every page of your site. And that goes for pages and posts. So not just blog posts, but every page on your website should have its own featured image. So I'm going to go back to the search here. Let me go back to, you searched for shutters. So there it is right there. So let's refresh the search. Oh, I didn't fix that one, did I? Oh, yeah, I did. Right there. There it is. Shutters. So now it has the picture. So that's why and how you fix those. And that's it for our Facebook Friday. Hope you guys have a great day, great weekend, and stay safe. And we'll be chatting with you soon. See ya.